Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai. Today I'm going to be reacting to ReZero Season 3, Episode 13. But first, let's talk more about Episode 12. Also, just letting you know that my allergies have been acting up, so hopefully that is not distracting. So, yeah, just Emilia convincing the woman at the church that there is hope for them is so good. To me, it's the best scene in the episode. And I think it definitely has some multiple callbacks to previous scenes in the series. For one, the one already mentioned, Subaru giving Beatrice all the power to make the choice and just phrasing it, as like, I thought of all these ways that I would tell you that I would save you. But honestly, it would be you helping me. So please help me, Beatrice. There's a part here that feels similar to that. Someone in the comments mentioned Emilia when she asks for Sylvie's name. And she says her regular, I'm just Amelia. And when we actually do get Sylvie's name, yes, here, my name is Sylvie. I think, there's not as many similarities, but I can definitely see how it's similar to when Subaru first gets Amelia's name and they are officially introduced in episode 3, season 1. Amelia saying that's such a nice name. Oh, that's so meaningful. And there's also another callback to episode 18 from Zero. In this moment, when Sylvie keeps asking, what do you know about any of us? And Emilia just keeps calmly replying, I know that you're all kind. And then Sylvie, again, what do you know about us? I know you're all crying for help. Everything about you was pleading, help me. So I'll help you. And I'd like all of you to help me. So that feels very similar to when Subaru keeps yelling and asking Rem, what do you know about me? You don't know anything about me. And she goes, you're kind. And then he once again repeats himself. And once again, she replies with a feature or a quality of him that she really likes. Finally, well, of course, that takes a lot more. But, Subaru's the main character. He needed, we needed a lot more time for his self-hatred to really come through. Really, for us to know that it would take a lot more for him to be convinced that someone actually loves him. Or in this case, for Sylvie to understand that there is someone here who wants to help all of them. just because it feels like the right thing to do, even though she's not in the same situation as her anymore. So yeah, a few episodes back, I didn't think that uh, all the girls were going to be convinced this fast. And while they were really, like, the fear that they felt for Regulus was most certainly a lot higher than their hate and their hope. They needed someone like Emilia to demonstrate, as well as, the trust she has in Subaru, and thus the trust he has in Reinhardt. It's, oh, actually, yeah, it's sort of like a torch of kindness. Rem, you know, spread it to Subaru. Subaru then gave it to Emilia, and now Emilia is spreading it to the girls. That's actually really sweet how that works. But yeah, like, their hatred was really boiling inside of them. But they needed a catalyst such as this, because I would guess that, like, without something like this, they would never believe that Regulus could be taken out of the picture. Or there were moments where, like, they managed to get their hopes up only for them to be squashed back down once again. So we have Emilia figuring out how the whole Regulus affects his own heart. To Sylphan, it can be moved as well if one of them dies, or their heart stopped beating. And once they realize what he's done, Sylphie just looks horrified. Let me get to that moment. Yeah, here. How far will he go to trample another's heart? Literally and figuratively. And then she reaches for the glass. The only way to defeat him is to stop the heart he's affixed his own to. There's no way he would have left an escape route for us. Oh, and then Emilia has this, which I know now it's a mistranslation. She says, if you do that, someone else will end up his victim, which makes no sense if Emilia doesn't remember Regulus taking a part of the tragedy in her past. But this is more so, I think Emilia says more so something along the lines of, like, someone else will end up dying, or just, a victim. And that's what makes her think of her parental figures. And this might be, like, the strongest art in the episode when she says, why did I even leave the forest? Which, damn, like, that really shook Emilia. If she's even doubting that that's how defeated she's feeling. That she wouldn't be able to save all these girls. Oh, and then we have this, yeah. Sylphie saying, I've endured for this long because I thought he hadn't violated my body, so. And they took notice of that last video, but I don't think I said anything. So, yeah, at least he didn't sexually assault them, but like he's still a scumbag who dehumanizes them in other ways. Basically, treating them like dolls. Just, perfect, putting them in a display case so they don't have to smile. They'll never get old. Well, then, they don't have wrinkles because of smiles. Well, that would be a secondary reason. But yeah, that's also why he would like to keep them pure. And also, that's why he didn't want them to ever get any minor injury. So they would always be pristine. So if they did get just a little cut, he would kill them because they were no longer perfect in his eyes. So this wound is the proof of her freedom. That's so sad, but I love that. The only one who's capable of loving is himself. Which is funny because as we see Regulus's thoughts, he can't even love himself. Thankfully, Emilia finds another solution and freezes all of their heartbeats. Subaru sees the church getting frozen from far away. Emilia comes back to the battle, and she relays what the girls want. Oh, and we get Emilia having Regulus's heart on her own. He calls her a murderer who can't even remember how many people she killed. But she knows the number, even though she doesn't say that she didn't kill them. I never miscount people's lives. Plus, I'm sure she must have counted them when she stopped them from killing themselves. And then Regulus taunts Subaru and Emilia. And then Regulus starts mocking Betelgeuse. And Subaru starts thinking to himself, well, was he really that, much of a small fry that Regulus is saying? But that's where he gets the idea of how to take the Lionheart out of her. He asks Emilia if she has her full trust in him, and she's like, of course, which I love. Then we have this amazing animation with Subaru really concentrating on using his sloth witch factor. Oh, and something to point out is that he calls it unseen hand, which is odd since he'd already, up until this point, since he got it within him and used it for the first time, he called it only invisible providence. So is this maybe a sign that he's gotten over some of the trauma related to Betelgeuse using it? Or it's just him, really trying to make sure that Regulus is knowing that what he just mocked, will be his undoing. Regardless, he gets the hand there inside of Emily's chest. And at first I was like, huh. Like, we've seen the hand be able to just, move and make contact with objects and people like that. But that's what the flashback was for when we see Satella's hands going through Betelgeuse. And that's what Subaru's trying to do. And that's why he has to really focus to make sure he does it right. And not cause harm to Emilia. And then she feels Juice's presence with the hand, which is like, is this just symbolic? Or is it because the hand has some sort of like leftover energy from when Betelgeuse used it? And only someone who's seen or just, being around Juice when he used the witch factor would know? Hard to say. Not even sure if Emilia knows what the hell Subaru just did. Regulus feeling jealous of their little moment here. Just the complete and utter trust they have with each other, which is something that Regulus could never do. So they get, and his authority is now malfunctioning. He doesn't say, how do you people have the authority of greed? As, what did you do to my authority of greed? Emilia pummels him for every one of the girls he mistreated. And he's using his temporary invincibility. Otherwise, she would have killed him right there and then. Okay, he monologues. Then Reinhardt comes back. He introduces himself, and this is when we get the first part of Regulus having a, thinking about himself again. But it does give some insight into why he does the things he does. And it's because he hates people making fun of him. Oh yeah, it's not my fault. None of this is my fault, which mirrors a Subaru scene in season 1. But I mean, just Regulus's whole character, I feel like, is like a broken mirror of Subaru, of what Subaru could have become if he had this power instead of returned by death and wasn't pushed to change his ways. Like, I'm not saying it would have happened fast, but maybe like in 100 years he could have ended up like Regulus. Seeing people or women like prices and not really trying to see them for who they are. That could have definitely gone real twisted. Also, it's not my fault. That's from like, I think it was the end of episode 14, and he goes back to the mansion. And he was wishing that something bad would happen so that he could be the hero and save everyone. But once something does go horribly wrong, the only thing he can think of is to make it about himself and try to well, uh, like, of course, he wasn't at fault, but he was really going about it the wrong way. But yeah, the reason for all this was Regulus. Also, just one thing about Regulus and Subaru dynamic is that Subaru's power is all about like, oh, if you can't change, you just be stuck in a loop, reliving this one moment over and over and over and over again until you get some introspection and change the way you do things, you know? It's about creating meaningful bonds with others so they can help you just as you can help them. Instead of Regulus, where he was just surrounded by all these girls, but he was still alone, just forcing his ideas onto them. Just completely obsessed with the fact that they were laughing at him. And sure, when they killed him, they probably were smiling. But he most certainly deserved it, and never once thought about, like, well, if they're laughing at me, maybe they have a valid reason as to why they're doing it. Then we have Reinhardt coming in, pausing the monologue, and he's called a monster, and he says, "I'm a monster that hunts monsters, so I'm not going to deal with you like a knight." Yeah, in a true duel, I would have withdrawn my sword the moment you lost the will to fight. Which, I said that it was like similar to when Emilia called herself a witch in front of Echidna. And therefore, like, he was taking ownership of that nickname, that title. But considering the context, like, oh, if I'm a monster, and then, you know, I mean, so be it, since you're also a monster hunting a monster, which I don't think it bodes well for Reinhardt's self-esteem, that he's putting himself in the same level as Regulus, or at the very least lowering himself in this moment, so that he can brutalize Regulus all that he can, without feeling guilt or dishonor. But still, I do think there might be something that Reinhardt needs to work on. Just, you know, putting himself down. Like, no, you know, he's not monstrous for doing this. But at the same time, it could also, like, you could also see it as him feeling a little bit free to not be a hero or a knight in this moment, and just you know, let Regulus really have it without those more restricting titles. But yeah, Regulus, once again, even to his death, is still being too preoccupied about how people saw him. Yeah, the thought of dying here while that bitch gets to avenge her mother and Betelgeuse makes me want to vomit. And yet, Amelia's not at all thinking about that. She's just like, huh, I feel like I met him somewhere. Also, I kind of pity him now. So I think that's very fitting for his end. Like, I wasn't sure if he died here, but I think he did. The last moment, I think it is meant to imply that he drew his last breath. But yeah, Regulus died as he lived. Pathetic, and just always blaming other people for his shortcomings. Alright. Also, post-credit scene, we saw Subaru and Emilia stay at the church with the girls. That was really sweet. And they let Reinhardt leave, which we'll see how it goes. Because Wilhelm told Subaru he didn't want Reinhardt to get, in the middle of his fight with an undead Theresia. But we don't know what happened if, how Subaru handled Reinhardt living on his own. But anyway, I yapped enough, but that episode was... it definitely warranted that amount of yapping. Anyway, let's get started with episode 13. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, actually, I was like, oh, cool, he transformed. But we don't know if he's actually, conscious here. And is able to control this form still. Oh boy. So it's not just his insecurities about being strong. It's also about his guilt about killing. After all, he's only ever killed one person. Oh, Garfiel. Yeah, him being able to get over that. It's definitely a matter of life and death. But also at the same time, it's like... I also don't want Garfield to take the wrong lesson from this and just completely disregard any life, Yeah, killing a Sin Archbishop and killing the undead Kurgan, sure. But sometimes things are not so black and white. So it is good for him to be thinking about this, but... I also don't want him to die. If it's giving him so much anguish. Like, sure, those people might be able to be cured, but at this point he can't afford to be thinking about that. Oh, we're back here. Right. Oh yeah, he left. He's somewhere in the battlefield. Okay. Surely we're gonna go back to that. What kind of powerful media? Oh boy. Is Lye eating them? Like, physically? Oh. I don't think he'll be much help, but okay. I figured. Ooh. Oh. Huh. I don't think we've seen that before. Rui. A third gluttony? Al versus not Priscilla. Al versus Capella? Oh, I really like the seeing the shadows first. You gotta keep cutting her up. Oh. Hmm. Yo! No way. Did he also do that? That would be quite the drastic measures. Bro, why is he playing around? Oh, she's gonna use Priscilla to mess with him? Huh, where. I guess she's seen all the knights and the candidates and has an idea of their relationships. Let's see how it works. If it works or not on Al. Yeah. Oh! What? No freaking way. She doesn't even need to see someone to copy their appearance? Oh. Oh. Okay. I think that's Earth magic? Okay. I. Damn. That would have been too easy, huh? Yeah, that's cheating. Mm. Ooh. Talking about stars. Now that we know that's relevant. Oh, Wallachia. Hmm. Okay. Um. I liked actually getting to know a little bit about who Corrigan was in life. Ooh, nice animation. That might have been Garfield's divine protection, but it also looked like Al's earth magic. Mm. Oh, Garfield. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, no. He cannot afford to hesitate right now. Oh, man. Whoa, this music? Hmm. Hmm. He managed to protect them. Oh. Hmm. Uh. Oh. No, this is really sweet. Oh, this OST? Oh, he called them brother, his brother and sister. Oh, I love this shot. The Attack of Heroes is being used for Garfield. Oh, the number of arms increased. Ah. Whoa! Holy crap! The animation really went up a few notches. Holy. Love the camera. And the fluid camera angles. Oh, that was definitely his divine protection. It looks so fluid and smooth. Holy Sakuga! Oh, Garfiel! Oh my god, impact frames! Go ahead, gorgeous tiger! That was insane. I think this is the best animation this series has ever gotten. He talked! The Warrior's Commendation. Wonderful. Kurgan acknowledged Garfield's strengths and role as a warrior before dying. Again. That was so good! That was just what was needed to close out Garfield's journey, this arc. You tried to wait for our fight. I will chase, looking at the face right of your own weakness. You can act. Opus credits. No, this is so wholesome. Oh yeah, he's really injured. We really need a healer here. Oh, we're back to the other undead soldier fight. I mean... Oh. Oh man, the dead eyes are kinda disturbing. But that getting Wilhelm versus Teresia, I thought we were going to get that this episode, but I'm completely fine. Garfield getting most of the episode. I have the feeling like, well, Wilhelm versus Theresia, and especially if Reinhardt shows up, it has the potential to be amazing. So I'm totally fine with uh, waiting a little more on that. But yeah, man, I talked so much at the beginning. I don't think I'm gonna be able to say much uh, for the discussion. I mean, the only. I mean, we got shown a lot of fights. We got Lye, we got Capella, we got the highlight of the episode, Garfield versus Cargan, and another glimpse at Wilhelm versus Theresia. But only one of those got a conclusion. So, yeah. There's only 3 episodes. So, I'm not yet. I don't know how the arc is going to end. It just seems too good for all of our allies to win. So, I mean, I'm getting a little nervous. But yeah, I don't know what is being set up with Felt and Hermitia. But she looks pretty confident that it's going to be able to be used against an archbishop. But like, did she plan to run into Lye specifically? Or Gluttony? Because I don't think necessarily if something works on Archbishop, it would work on all of them. With all the different authorities. And also, it was neat to see that even though he has people that accept him for who he is, considering the flashback we saw of him and the troubles his divine protection gave him, he's still not willing to just tell anyone about it, even now. In regards to some character insight from Al, he's still quite mysterious. But I think it's pretty obvious now that he is the one that did the whole thing with the water. I hadn't even thought about him being the one of killing all the people that might know where the witch's remains are. So, like, I'm guessing he was acting on his own, and not because of Priscilla told him. He was just that determined to not let the witches cult get their hands on it. But yeah, that definitely sets Al to be more morally, the most morally gray of the knights, at least to me, with that reveal, even if he was playing dumb. But I think his reaction to seeing Capella transform into Priscilla makes sense. I mean, she admitted that she's never seen Priscilla, so she has no idea how she acts. So, yeah, there was never any illusion in the first place about messing with Al's mind. Because it doesn't matter how much you look like her. You know, this is not. Her soul is not within your body anyway. That's not the princess. Regardless, he still had a bit of a visceral reaction. not being able to help himself in college. Disgusting. And he does say something here. Why do you resist me? And when she says, what is it about me that you don't like? I'm guessing she doesn't mean, you know, the Priscilla costume, but rather Capella herself, because she definitely seems to have an issue with that. And yeah, he responds to it being Capella, saying, well, first he's like, well, now I don't even care about you, come on now. But then he corrects himself and is like, no, never mind, I do hate you. Yeah, you're disgusting, so I actually hate you. Like, I wonder if he means like personality, ability, both. I don't know. There might be something that I'm, failing to notice in regards to Al's mannerisms and choice of words. But right now, like, I've been talking too long, and also I'm starving, so. Oh, yeah, that last line. The stars sure are aligned against me today. I wonder, there's gotta be some more meaning to that. I mean, it's being said by one of the people with star names in the series. I did like the lore drop about Kurgan, uh, the many armed people, and how they're discriminated even more so than just regular demi-humans. And we get something about the place called Wallachia, which apparently it's even more of a more welcoming kingdom for demi people than anywhere else, even more so than we could have thought of Kararagi. But yeah, it ends with Garfiel feeling quite disrespected and just, his self-esteem was all low because Kurgan would not recognize him as someone worth giving his all against. As for that moment where a hallucination Elsa goes up against him and he kills the beast. He says something like, "You're not her." Yeah, I don't love you. You're not her. Like, did he mean the original, the real Elsa? Like, what is going on here, bro? I really hope Garfield didn't develop some sort of unhealthy feelings towards her post-death. Or the her means Ram, because during the fight against Elsa, he was always telling Elsa, well, I don't love you, or I don't like to hear that if that praise or those compliments if it's not coming from Bram. So maybe that's what he meant? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, he overcame his fear of killing there. And when Kurgan came back, just having all those people cheer for him. Very, you might call it power friendship. But I adore that kind of thing. I just give him enough. Like, he doesn't need. Well, I mean, he did need people's encouragement, but at the end of the day, the validation came from him, from within. Otherwise, he would not have been able to fight Kurgan so well that he actually managed to kill him. And because of that, he was able to be recognized, not the other way around. But yeah, I'll talk about it more next week when I've had more time to process this fight and think about more about Garfield's character writing this season and conclusion this episode. But also, just one last thing is that it's worth pointing out that while Subaru's speech did work wonders, and Garfield notes that, he's once again not realizing that it could just be because of him. He just chalks it down to Subaru's abilities instead of his own. That people look at his back and see it as reassuring. So it's not something that just got fixed, with people cheering on him once. But it gave him enough of confidence in himself that he had to do this. Otherwise, people would die. And he was able to prove it to himself. But yeah, I think this will be all for now. So if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.